This is Living Healthy with the Woman in You, the show with the information on health that you need to know from people you can trust.
Hi, welcome to Living Healthy. I'm your host, Sheryl Turgeon. Today our topic is all about water, and we'll talk about the importance of having enough water during the course of the day to help maintain your health. Joining us is Broekel of Down to Earth Natural Foods for People and Pets. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, Sheryl. Glad to be here.
Laura has worked in her family-owned business for 34 years. She's very passionate about nutrition and works diligently in helping adults, children, and animals with their health concerns. I'm excited to talk to you about water today, Laura.
Me too. It's been a passion of mine lately for the last couple of years, the importance of water and how easily that we just brush it aside. You know, we take it for granted. We really do.
And why are you passionate about it? What got you involved with water?
I first started to research the different waters, the different types, realizing that myself I was always really dehydrated, but felt like I was drinking enough water, but couldn't understand why I always felt thirsty, even though I consumed what I thought I should be drinking. So customers have sparked my interest about different types of waters that they were drinking. So that started the whole ball rolling on researching the different alkaline waters, reverse osmosis. When we put fluoride in the water, that really set me off on a big, how to balance out drinking really good water in spite of what's been done to it.
Maybe we should back up just a moment and talk about what water really is and why we need it.
Well, water is 70% of our body. 85% of it is our brain, 90% lungs, 90% in our blood, and even 15 to 20% in our bone. Something that you probably wouldn't even think of because it's such a solid mass that it would be made up of so much water.
So we really need it to function.
We really do. And we are definitely lacking in water.
So that's why we need it. What are some of the qualities of water or abilities of water?
Well, it's our life force, and it supplies energy, it facilitates metabolism, cognition for the brain, and it's very unique. Every molecule of water has its own identity, as a snowflake does, has its own beautiful picture. If you were to melt a snowflake and then refreeze it, it would come back with the same design, which is fascinating.
Yeah,
it's fascinating.
It really is.
Yeah.
So if we now talk a little bit more about what got you into water, you said something about fluoride.
Yeah, when New Bedford decided to put it to vote that they were going to put fluoride in our water, I was very passionate and tried to get the community to stop the process. Many years ago, actually when we first opened up the store, my mom, Dolores, fought with the community to get fluoride not put in the water and was very successful. And that was probably 32 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's come around again, and this time we lost through bad ballot, and half the community didn't end up voting on it. But anyway, regardless of that, so what I did was try to educate everybody on the ill effects of fluoride and how we feel like we're not getting enough of it, but actually, when you boil water, it makes the fluoride 300 times stronger than what we need. So it causes a lot of damage, cancer,
right.
A lot of autoimmune illnesses, and so that started it. That started the ball rolling.
So what did you do as a result of having the fluoride in the water? What did you start looking at other
I looked at started to look at the quality of our water supply. So when you take it down to the nitty-gritty of what process the water goes through the chemical plant or the water filtration system that we use, how it loses its actual life energy. By the time it gets to your household and it's gone through all the pipes and the electricity is actually connected to our water pipes as a conductor, so we're getting improper electrical surges through our water supply on a daily basis. After going on the city's website and reading the report of what was in our water, I got a little panicky in thinking that I don't want to consume this. I do have some of my own health concerns that I'm battling, and I'm not afraid to admit that. It's something that really needed to pay attention to the water, because that's the one thing that I didn't. Kind of took it for granted regularly. So I bought a reverse osmosis unit to get rid of all the fluoride, and what that does is it triple filters it through a permeable screen. So it's keeping the larger molecules out and letting the smaller molecules, but the end result is it has nothing in it, nothing healthy. It's very acidic and very damaging to the body. No minerals. Right. And I drank that for 3 years, thinking that that's what I needed to do to keep the fluoride out. Not realizing that I was keeping everything out and it was doing a lot of physical damage.
So what was your next step after that?
My next step was, and this was fun, at the store, I ordered different types of water: alkaline water, distilled water, zero water, penta water, all these different types, and I lined them all up and tested the pH of them, taste tested them, and started adding in some water enhancement products. And I would try to bring the pH of the water up through pH drops. I would put trace mineral drops in, and horrible tasting.
Really?
Yeah.
And maybe you could explain why it was important to bring up the pH.
Well, that's the biggest topic right now, is bringing the pH of making your body more alkaline. And you can do it, you should try to do it a lot through your green leafy vegetables and food, but you can use alkaline water, and that was my next step. Had a very knowledgeable customers that educated me and sparked my interest. So I went forward with that and had a lot of fun with it, and decided that I needed a machine to actually make the water. So it's important if your body is acidic, a lot of problems inflammation, pain, which comes down to another problem with the lack of water is dehydration. So when your body is dehydrated and lacks all these body fluids, everything starts to malfunction in your body. So our body actually has an internal drought management system that it works on.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And you had said to me earlier that digestion is really the priority.
Exactly. So if we should try to consume our waters at certain times of the day. You don't want to drink while you eat, but you have to have enough liquid in order to digest your food.
Right.
So when somebody has heartburn, dyspepsia, the pain of indigestion, that usually 99% of the time is a signal that you're dehydrated, because your body needs to consume enough liquid a half an hour prior to eating in order to have enough liquid to create your digestive enzymes. So if you are dehydrated, you eat your food, your body is drawing the water and the fluids from other parts of your body in order to digest your food properly.
And if it does that, what can happen to those other, say the brain?
Yeah, the brain, you can get a migraine headache, might feel like a hangover. If you have rheumatoid arthritis, you'll get more inflammation in your joints. And low back pain, that will cause you more pain. For me, it's muscle cramps. I was getting severe muscle cramps for over a year, all the time, all day, all night.
And you attributed that to?
To dehydration, number one, and then my body being too acidic.
Okay.
So that started me with the alkaline water, which we can talk about in depth maybe in a little while, but it getting back to the dehydration part of it, and the pH. When your body is more acidic. Now everybody starts to think, oh, I'm going to go on this alkaline diet because I want to get my blood more alkaline. Well, your blood stays at 7.35 to 7.45 pH all the time. It doesn't fluctuate. Any higher or lower than that will cause death. It's where you can adjust your pH is in the fluids everywhere else in the body. And that is going to be different everywhere. So when somebody says to me, I'm going to test my saliva to see if my pH is the right pH, well, that's just testing your saliva. It's not actually telling you what's going on everywhere in your body. And then when you test your urine and somebody says, oh, my urine is too acidic, well, it needs to be that acidic. If your urine is too alkaline, then you need to go to the doctor because you have a problem in your urinary tract. So
well, basically, if it's too alkaline, you're not processing
all your nutrients properly.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So tell me, with the alkaline water, what difference did that make to you when you started drinking it?
Oh, immediate. Well, first, like I had said earlier, I attempted to make my own alkaline water because the machines are expensive and it's an investment. So when I started making it and I put the trace minerals in to bring the water to what we need it to be, like the artesian well water is, it's been around for so long, it has all the healthy nutrients that we need. So that's what I was trying to mimic. And whatever I do for me, I do for my pets. And I decided that they were going to drink the alkaline water that I made as well. And so I made this combination and I put it down on the floor and my two little male dogs took one little sip out of it and then urinated in the bowl.
They didn't like that, I guess.
They didn't like it. So right there, I said, I can't drink this either. This is crazy. No wonder I don't like it. It's not healthy and it's not good for me, you know. So then the research, once again, you constantly have to research all this information, you know, and anything that I'm saying here tonight too. You know, I urge people to continue and look things up. Don't take it what I'm saying for granted here. Just go and look up all this different stuff because it is fascinating. And because we take water for granted, you know, and we think, let's just drink it out of the tap, you know, toxic. It's toxic. So with the alkaline water, I end up researching and I get this machine. It only intended on getting it for me and my family, but got a good deal on, and I got a few of them. Had another customer who was interested, so we got the machine. Now, basic history on me as a testimonial to this so everybody knows what I was dealing with. I have systemic lupus, which is an autoimmune illness, and Graves' disease, which is a hyperactive thyroid. So the problems that I was having, because I had been drinking the reverse osmosis water for so long, my bones, my muscles, my ligaments, my joints, everything started to fall apart. I was breaking my bones, I was tearing my ligaments, and I had severe muscle cramps.
Oh, Laura.
Yeah, so, you know, trying to figure out what's going on, because as I see customers every day, they're going through the same problems. You know, and everybody has high cholesterol, high sugar content, and so that led me into, I bought the machine. Now, I am not kidding. I was having muscle cramps at least 10 to 15 an hour, day in, night and day. So even sleep was I never had a full night's sleep, very interrupted. made the water, and I thought, wow, this tastes really good. And I drank what I needed, half my body weight in ounces, and the very next day I noticed, wow, I don't have any more muscle cramps. How is this possible? How is it possible, Sheryl, that this one type of water, out of all the water that I've been drinking for this time, now this is the one thing that took away the muscle cramps?
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I continued to drink it, and then got really excited about the outcome and started to tell other people about it. So now we sell it at the store. You can come in, you don't have to buy a machine. We do we charge $2 a gallon. You can bring in your own jug or buy a jug from us. And just so you can get to try it, because the machines are expensive and it's an investment. So, did a little experiment, didn't drink it.
Yep.
Got the muscle cramps back that night. Went back into it, gone away. Did it again, another month later, back again. What I realized for myself was, number one, that I was really dehydrated, and number two, that my body was extremely acidic. Regardless of all the things that I had tried supplement-wise, with taking green leafy vegetables and drinking smoothies and doing all that, this was the one thing that brought me over the top.
Into balance, then.
Into more balance, because what the alkaline water also does, there's many attributes to it too. It's not just about being acidic. What the alkaline water also does is the machine decreases the size of the molecule. So a regular water molecule has 10 to 13 molecules in a cluster.
Okay.
So what the water machine does, the ionizer, will reduce the cluster size down from 10 to 13 to 5 to 6. So now we have 75 billion cells in our body. Those 75 billion cells all have to be hydrated. And if the molecule size of the water, because of how it's been damaged by the filtration systems and the toxins and the pesticides and all the other stuff that's in it, it can't actually get into the cell to do what it's supposed to do.
All right.
So that's why when somebody says to me, I drink 2 gallons of water a day, and I still have all this stuff going on. And I said, well, what are you drinking? And it's either usually they're drinking distilled water or reverse osmosis, or they're drinking their tap water, which is all very acidic and will not get into the cell. So basically what's happening, it's going in the system, not doing anything, and going out. Or if you're drinking distilled water in especially reverse osmosis, actually can leach your minerals out of your body as an attraction, a chemical attraction. And then, so now you're depleted even more. So now you're not only dehydrated and acidic, you're depleted of your minerals.
And if we look at tap water and bottled water, just throwing that into the mix.
So let's throw that into the mix, because we're being duped on a lot of bottled waters.
Right.
You know, if you actually had the money to do a chemical testing of it, you might actually be buying tap water in a bottle.
Correct.
Some companies are doing that, you know.
In
it's
fact, it can be
unfortunate.
worse than tap water,
Exactly,
can it?
Exactly. And what you have to pay attention to with your bottled water is that you're drinking the toxins from the plastic.
Right.
And that's key. You know, that's even actually worse than if you actually just drank your tap water from your faucet, depending on where you live. Because some communities have some good water, you know, and some of the worst.
And when should you be drinking water, and how often?
Rule of thumb, half your body weight in ounces per day, depending on the time of year that it is in the summer and how active you are. If you're an athlete, you need to consume a lot more. If you're very sedentary, you might not have to drink as much. If you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, your consumption might need to be less, but pretty much half your body weight in ounces a day. You should drink throughout the day, a half an hour before you eat, up to 15 minutes. You see, when you drink a glass of water, it immediately, if there's nothing else in your stomach, it immediately goes right into your intestinal tract to be used for the rest of the body. So it basically is only staying in there at the most probably 5 minutes. If you have food in there, in your stomach, then you're weakening your digestive enzymes, and the water is going to sit in your stomach and make you bloat, you know, for a much longer period of time. So what I like to do, half an hour to 15 minutes before I eat, and then 2 hours after I eat. And then consume what you want in between the next meal up till 15 minutes to a half an hour before. Very important with alkaline water. If you do decide to drink when you do eat, because that's a habit that a lot of us have gotten into, that we want to drink when we eat, to not drink alkaline water when you do that. If you are, to drink a clean water, because if you're drinking alkaline water, once again, you're asking your body, when it needs to be acidic to digest your food, you're making it alkaline. So now you're going to create the opposite effect of what you want, and now you possibly might have heartburn where you didn't have it before.
Makes sense.
You know, so it's a vicious cycle. It's confusing. Sometimes I used to set my my phone on an alarm to remind me to drink, especially now. I have a harder time in the winter. Drinking what I need.
I think most of us do in the winter. And I don't know what the solution is for that.
Yeah, we need to come up with a little ding, 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 a bell.
Yeah.
But even then, it's interesting too, another keynote, because people will say, well, I never feel thirsty, or so I don't feel like I need to drink, or I'm thirsty all the time. When you're thirsty, that means your body is already gone past the dehydration state. It's almost a warning signal that you're in trouble. You know, so don't ignore that signal. If you're thirsty, drink. You know, and you do need to drink water. You can't substitute soda, tea, coffee.
Good point.
Is not a substitute for the amount of water that you need to drink.
In fact, the caffeine is going to further
make
dehydrate
it worse.
You,
and interesting thing, one soda takes 32 glasses of alkaline water to counteract the effect of the acidity of that soda.
Wow.
32 glasses. So if you drink 5 glasses of soda a day, I mean, it's very easy for people to drink a liter of soda. So if you're drinking that every day, you're months behind what you need to consume in order to counteract that.
Fantastic.
That bottle of soda.
Yeah. In terms of really summing up the health benefits of drinking water, especially alkalized water.
Yeah. Well, if you're suffering from an ailment, I don't really know anybody who's walking around feeling, 100%. The rheumatoid arthritis, the cholesterol. Cholesterol is an amazing topic too, because we can talk about pH in so many different aspects of it. Why does the body create cholesterol? It creates it because it's a buffer for the acidity. So when you go to your doctor and they're telling you that your cholesterol is really high, it's because you're consuming too many acidic products, or your lifestyle. Let's talk about, stress creates acidity in your body too. So along with your dehydration, all of that comes into play. So your body has created this cholesterol to buffer so you won't have a heart attack. So you take the cholesterol medication to get rid of the cholesterol instead of getting rid of the acidity.
Right.
So what I tell a lot of our customers who are in that situation is, let's try drinking some alkaline water first before you go on that medication on a regular basis, to see if you can bring that cholesterol level down and bring up your good cholesterol, and to balance it out that way. Also with diabetes. Diabetes is also another illness of dehydration. So if you're not in that plays into role too. When you've got your high cholesterol, your high blood sugar, and now you're creating metabolic syndrome. where you're not processing and everybody's getting, you know, the weight gain that they're uncomfortable with, that they can't control.
Right.
Drink the alkaline water. Makes a huge difference.
I'm sure it does.
My thyroid specialist wants to know, why are you not overweight? Well,
Really?
because I'm drinking different water now, which makes me absorb 1,000 times better. It makes all your nutrients absorb much better. The more alkaline you are, the more you'll use what your body needs on a daily basis.
Right. Do you start people out at a certain level of, a certain number of glasses of alkaline water per day?
Yeah, that's a good question, because this is another important thing too. If your body is pretty much working normally and you consume a good amount of water a day, switching over to alkaline water, it won't be a problem. But if you're somebody who doesn't drink a lot of water regularly and now you start to consume a lot of alkaline water, what happens is you put a lot of, initially, and it's only for a couple of days, you put stress on your kidneys. I had a practitioner tell me a few years ago that she said my kidneys were only functioning at 25%. And she said, so I want you to increase how much water that you're drinking, and I want you to go and drink a half a gallon of water a day. Well, I drank what she wanted me to drink and retained all of it. It became a problem. So I backed off on what I was drinking and then decided that I needed to do an increment. So within the next week, I got up to what I needed to do in a slower fashion so that my kidneys could manage it. Your kidneys will automatically compensate until they get to the point where they don't work anymore, to that dehydration state and the lack of it. So you have to retrain your kidneys to accept that amount of liquid. But so for the average person who comes in, I say start with, probably a liter a day, and then increase it until you feel comfortable. And what they find is that their bodies crave it, and they want more and more of it, and it's very easy to drink, and it tastes really good.
That's
it really tastes
interesting
good
because it's the same thing that people find with eating whole, fresh foods.
Exactly, exactly.
Well, Laura, I think it's about time we wrap this up, and I really want to thank you for joining us tonight. It's been fascinating.
Thank you, Sheryl. It's my pleasure.
And I hope you'll join us again some other time.
Absolutely.
For more information on Laura, you can call her at Down to Earth Natural Foods at 508-996-1995 or contact her by email at dtenf@comcast.net. Thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Sheryl Worthington Turgeon. See you next time on Living Healthy.